more than once to request amendment to the dates and adjustments, because even when I was very detached from ministry, I was not really enjoying the lead, and I was at work and all these conflicts, and time continued to run, and each of the institutions was ready to work with me. They saw my work, and they were willing to give me the extension. In 2014, the King of Spain honored me with a social recognition for the teaching of Spanish in Jamaica, some amazing surprise, under Ambassador Cesar Nuño, and we celebrated. In 2024, the honor the people of Spain, I complete this agreement. The OAS, as one of the United Nations institutions, was extremely humane, tolerant, willing to listen, willing to create a plan B, and willing to tell me, yes, we can do this, I know we cannot do it. There was a point in time when I nearly lost this scholarship, and guys, I went from that credit card and flew to Harvard where the office was, and spoke to absolutely everybody there that I gave up with that last extension that allowed me to complete the scholarship. The main message of today's session should never be what happened to me, but what can happen to any of us. At my university, a particular candidate of what the research looks like, which is never what you want, but what can be done. I would love to know that our students or the teachers or persons can benefit. But also, you don't have to agree with everything, because I personally do not agree, but I follow certain protocols. And not always you can go wide and open to say, what we want, where you want. It was a negotiation. I got 3 amazing tutors, 2 priests. They were so nice. And they really used their church training patiently. 10 hours difference from Jamaica. From here, I was speaking to them, most times was midnight. Internet falling, not connecting, insist again. And this is the reason why I did not send my dissertation on that. Spain was an amazing experience. It was welcoming. There was a lot of respect. 150 persons graduated that year. I'm sure I will take all this one. And it was a ceremony. If you look at the paper that Spain prepared and printed, and look at my dress code today, this is not normal. Theses are never prepared this way. 9 principal anesthesia. I created design for the Jamaica that would come back to our show. So the reason why I am dressed as a Jamaican today, that I am, and if anybody questions that here we are at home. It's because I wanted to look like the paper that was created, almost 600 nights and nights and nights. At one point in time, I reached 1,500 pages, and the tutor said, "This is insane. We're going to cut this by 1/3, or we're never going to finish this paper." And here it is. And I need facts for it in where I can explain. In 2020, and based on this paper, we were able to do an excellent work with COVID, teaching online, creative material, and here is where my president, the National Association of Spanish Teachers. He is one of those Jamaicans that we groomed to become a primary school teacher, Spanish, from 2007 to 2013. And he remains teaching. Here is now big man, Mary Griffiths, at the top, Baby Griffiths. We call him the magician because nobody can beat him that word. Absolutely no man. Some family members, a family member, Andrea Bob, please raise your hand, who was a principal at a particular school in Spanish Town, in Catherine, was also quite a sport, going to your school, participating in activities, interacting with the children, because the paper is dedicated to primary school teachers who teach Spanish as a foreign language. So the market was specific. Here we have today the new generation that will be my race, who is now working with us, teaching English to foreigners coming to America. So we are prepared to take on teaching positions and others, and it's a great transition. I'm finishing my walking down or back late memory. Now listen to the different presenters. I just want to say once more, thank you for being here. Thank you to one of my directors, HR, who is also amazing, and we love speaking at 2:00 in the morning, Madam Ivy McDonald, and she's also pursuing her PhD. Raise your hand, well, lady. And thank you for being here to present the information. And let us now listen to the leaders who made all this possible, because none of us can achieve so much by ourselves. But let it be known that when the story is being done, it is not for you or for me, but it's supposed to be helping somebody else. To Jacqueline Porter, my IT lady, extension of a keyboard like Sir, lecturer at St. Joseph's, who has worked with me in the preparation of so many teaching aids, so many teaching aids. It is amazing. Moving forward, today, thank you for being here, and let us listen to the messages. Sir Ambassador, you can speak in Spanish or English any way you want, but we are feasible in more than 4 languages. So this podium belongs to you now.
Días a todos y a todas. Quería marcar, bueno, muchísimas gracias, antes que nada, por esta amable invitación para estar aquí. Les agradezco enormemente que puedan compartir su tiempo conmigo en este día tan especial. I think I will stick to the bilingual approach. Yes. Not English. I haven't been long enough to express myself in Patois. But anyway, as I was thinking, as I was saying, thank you very much, Martha, for your times, efforts in order to become Spanish. As you rightly put it, I have a couple of very powerful reasons for being here today. The first one, which is that I was the one, I have this particular honor. I was the one who handed over your university diploma that you gave to the prestigious University of Iowa. So you and I would be very proud for that particular occasion. So I think this event is the perfect for that occasion. So I will miss it. I went yesterday, and yesterday was from the phone. She invited me, and I said, yes, so here. And I think the second reason you already mentioned, we are celebrating today International Spanish Language Day. Our 23rd of April, we were the death of Miguel Cervantes on the most renowned author in Spanish language and the founding father of Spanish, as we know today. It's probably coincident there was the very same date in which William Shakespeare died as well. So this is quite a fantastic coincidence. Probably the best literature authors that died. So we celebrate Spanish today. That's absolutely wonderful for us. Me as a ambassador, I'm very proud to be celebrating this day. Promoting Spanish is one of the priorities of all the parties in Spain. And I won't be you with numbers and figures. So it's true, Spanish is probably the second most spoken language in the world. 600 million people speak Spanish. The real thing is, what can Spanish do for Jamaica? And we've discussed that many times. And I think that Spanish will be a formidable tool for Jamaica in order to connect with the rest of the world. Not only because of Spanish culture, because of music, or literature, because it's a wonderful tool about the making business of science, for research, for investigation, for innovation, for all that. And there's a huge demand of Spanish here in Jamaica. We're more than willing to try to accompany the efforts of the Jamaican government to promote Spanish. As we will eventually discuss that many times, but I think that ignoring Spanish is a luxury that Jamaica can afford. So we as Spanish Embassy and with your support, would like to accompany the efforts of the Jamaican government to promote Spanish language. It's a wonderful tool for engagement with the rest of the world. But today, what we want to do, at least the embassy, and I invite you to our social media. We want to invite us commemorating celebrating something. We want to pay special tribute to the persons who are helping us in this wonderful common endeavor. So we're going to devote the whole day to bring testimonies and of the persons and people involved in teaching Spanish. Because we want, as embassy, as country of Spain, we want that the world can see their faces and hear their voices, and it's a way to pay a tribute to those persons who tirelessly, like you are trying to help us in this event. So again, thank you very much for all the efforts. And yes, we here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
It is amazing that we chose this date since last year. And the friends was we are going to wait until next year, April 23rd, to make sure that this celebration takes place. And we thank you for being here. I believe that this time is going to be the princess now who needs to speak. And as I said before, the OAS really played a very important role in the granting of my scholarship. I guess I would not be long enough to be grateful, but I am extremely grateful. Madam, please, yes, thank you.
Very much. And just one correction, the Organization of American States, the oldest regional organization in the world, it's not a UN agency. The lively concept of Dr. Martha Corbett-Bowles' PhD marks an incredible milestone in her journey of questions, curiosity, persistence, and growth. A journey that has now found its place among the shelves of knowledge in the UWI library. When I first came across the name Martha Corbett-Bowles, I worked in the scholarships unit of the OES at our headquarters in Washington, D.C. almost 20 years ago, which speaks to the drive and dedication of this OES scholarship recipient. We know this journey has not been easy for her, and that one scholarship couldn't cover the high cost to complete the dual PhD program that she started then. Through her fierce determination, she managed to overcome the many challenges along the way and accumulated the resources needed to complete the first PhD program. The OES scholarship program is one of the oldest scholarship programs in the world and has evolved over time. It has been adapted to the changing needs of OES member states since its inception in the 1950s. And unfortunately, it has also had to be adapted due to the financial challenges facing the organization. Dr. Corbett-Bowles is one of our scholarship recipients who has proven that where there is the will, there is a way, that every bit of support counts. She also ensures to give back by sharing her knowledge and experience, and is always ready to support when called upon. We hope that she will join the OES Scholarship Alumni Network through the OES Development Cooperation Platform, OES, which will be launched tomorrow afternoon. With this network, the OES seeks to build a dynamic community of leaders committed to giving back to the region and contributing to shaping the future of the Americas through their expertise and experience. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Martha Cordoval, whose thesis titled La enseñanza del español en Jamaica, en un contexto anglo-parlante, now finds its permanent home on these library shelves at the University of West Indies Mona campus. This thesis stands as a testament to our intellectual courage and curiosity. We know that getting to this moment took far more than writing. It took patience, perseverance, and passion. I'm sure that you'll agree that Dr. Cordoval has successfully closed this chapter on her journey with grace and with brilliance. Her work is a valuable contribution to the field of language education and to future students, researchers, and educators who will one day find her thesis and feel inspired to ask their own questions and further contribute to the study of language and culture. The General Secretariat of the Organization of American States will proudly add this OAS scholarship recipient to our database of accomplished Caribbean scholars. Thank you for showing us how scholarship can transcend borders, Dr. Cordoval.
Oh, wow, wow, I'm not trying to cry. I promised myself I'm not going to cry. Thank you very much. And you have been really along the way in an amazing way. Holding the position that you call somebody who believes that you are led out of the galaxy. You are approachable, extremely human, extremely resourceful, and always operating solution. And the time that I have not at your office door, you have been able to tell me, we cannot do it this way possibly. Let us do it this other way. And I would like to know that many others can benefit the same way. Remember, always thinking that many others stand also to benefit from the same. And that is very important. Thank you once more and million times more. Now, let's go back. Al Señor Wayne Jones, in the Hispanic culture, he will be a second Vice Minister of Finance. But in Jamaica, he's the Deputy Financial Secretary. And importantly, guys, the one who signs all the checks for our salaries. Sir, please microphone belongs to you.
Thank you very much, Martha, in your own way and style that cannot be imitated. This being International Spanish Day, allow me to exercise my little Dutch proficiency in the language and say buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
And good morning.
Good morning.
Certainly, my pleasure on behalf of the Minister of Finance and Public Service to share this very, very enlightening moment where Dr. Law, my friend Martha, is sharing the results of her hard work with my university. I've been through all of this university so many years ago. And so I had the opportunity of college. So Louis, good to see you probably still a very, very long time. Seniors. Let me also acknowledge my colleagues from the public service who are here, Donald and other members of the public sector family. Certainly, it is good to see that we are lending support to a colleague of ours. Those who are here had choices, staying in their offices, doing what they do best, and have chosen to be out here supporting Martha today, one who is very deserving. Of course, Ambassador, and I will not run the risk of pronouncing always representing the name or any of them, but be with you. Just generally, hi, hello, and nice to see everybody. The Ministry of Finance and Public Service is the ministry with responsibility for the public service. And so the public service part of our need is where the efforts that resulted in Dr. Law's finalization of her doctoral studies would have come from. We have a responsibility to help in the human capital development, public sector work. We do this through partnership with organizations like the Organization of American States. We do it with friendly countries. We do it with multilateral and bilateral entities. And we do so through the government of Jamaica's own injection into scholarship funding, which would have been able to help Dr. Baum through her challenge. It's certainly a pleasure for us in the ministry to work with her. Martha is not the typical public sector worker who would approach us for assistance in this regard. She's someone who is called upon by the highest offices of government to assist very often with interpretations when we have visited delegations from Spanish-speaking or French-speaking territories. It is Martha who is called upon at very short notice sometimes to help the dignitaries communicate. It is Martha who we, the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, when we are conducting or administering any programs with Spanish content, is Martha who we call upon for assistance, like coordinating or delivery of the benefit and the offerings. And so she is a special public sector worker for us. She's also extremely resilient. We have heard earlier from her and others that the journey was not always smooth. But Donald and I were speaking before the start, and we were just reflecting on Martha's intuitiveness, as we call it. She never gives up. She's always going at it. I see no reason why she will change. And so, just a decent, deserving human being is the person we are honoring this morning. As she continues with this process, it is our expectation in the ministry responsibility for the public service that what is happening today will become a template for our public offices. University of West Indies is ours, and it's very dear to many of us who work for the government of Jamaica. And we are certainly expecting, Madam Head of Library, that this will be something we see happening as we go through. Obviously, we love to run it broad and beyond the public sector, but citizenry on a whole. But for now, it certainly is our expectation that this will become a template to be used in the future. UWI must continue with this work through these initiatives. And the world we're talking about, as it is unfolding today, is a different world from when I went through the UWI. It's an entirely different world, and it is shaping up to be an even more different world as we see what's happening globally. And so, for the UWI as a role, that Martha, it has been my personal pleasure, ministry's pleasure, teams to which you work, pleasure, to have partnered with you, to have supported you, and we congratulate you and look forward to no doubt more success that we was on the rise.
These words being said by somebody like you know to be such a very demanding leader. Really, and your message means a lot. And thank you very much. It's been a process, as I said before, and today we are in celebratory mood. And because each of you, as I said, have played a role, and we don't want to make this too long. Let us look now at some testimonials, and here I have the two persons who set me on this path, and I declare you publicly guilty. Professor Robert Lewis and Madame Professor Marie Warren Lewis. Remember, I met them before I came to Jamaica. I had no intention of coming to Jamaica. I met them in Santiago. And this was the turning point. This microphone belongs to you.
Father in Santiago de Cuba in 1988. And we have found a most amazing person in that there was nothing that we wanted while during our stays, because we met her on more than one occasion in Cuba. And there was nothing that we required that she could not provide. We don't know how she did it. Tremendous energy, stick-to-itiveness, as you have heard, beyond compare. Some years ago, my colleague then, the late Professor Edward Moore, was going to Cuba, and I recommended that he make contact with Martha. He came back, he said, she's just fantastic, she's wonderful. In the short time that he was in Havana, she organized everything for him. He was amazed. But this is the kind of person that we knew that Martha was. And then she came to Jamaica. And we have been supports in several ways that we won't go into. But again, that same personality that she would come to what was a foreign country, although she had relatives here. She would come to a foreign country and make her way in such a remarkable way. And it is exemplified this morning in the work, the years of work, as she herself has described to us this morning, putting together doctoral dissertation and in a long distance relationship with supervisors. And so I don't know if Rupert wants to add anything to what I said.
Yes, just that Martha's family, and it's within that framework that we can say all that family needs. And she has a great deal of strength and determination, and a product of a great educational system, the educational system of Cuba. Without that foundation, Martha would not be what she is.
Yes, yes, yes. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. But this particular couple has a story with me. You remember when Jamaica had some issues with finances and some persons were losing money and some persons lost properties and all of that? Guys, I nearly lost my house. And these two persons signed a check for me for over $500,000 and told me when you move. And thanks to them, I saved my house in Jamaica. And that is why you need to be here. I think what I did is a deal, but it was never $500,000. And at the moment that happened with my daughter, very small, and I had absolutely no help. They came. That I can't explain. I own a house in Jamaica today. Each of the excellencies is spoken already. It's moment, yes. And now we're moving into the next matter. It is a donation. What is this? This is being donated to this university. When I got the scholarship, being a foreign scholarship, I said it must have a foot in Jamaica. It cannot be that I am going to study at a foreign university and there's no to my country. Condition was that the thesis had to be written in Spanish. So I had to read all the English and all the patois and translate. Therefore, my translation side really started moving even more. And there is less retired from UNESCO. UNICEF, sorry. UNEP provided many of those translation jobs with children at schools and traveling the entire island and picking me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, to secondary boundary, and everyone in the realm. And each of you continued to provide opportunities. My reasoning was if I dedicate the paper to the Jamaican teachers of Spanish, especially at the primary level, there must be a footing in Jamaica. My tutor came and spent 1 week with me in my small house. My Spanish guy could not believe how Jamaicans lived and how we eat and the breakfast and all that. But it was 1 week that Dr. Jesus Arzamendi spent here in Jamaica in my place. And we made a decision, took the decision that we needed external assessors, but they needed to be from Jamaica. This is how we ended up selecting Professor Ramsey, Paulette Ramsey, who is not here, but unavoidably unable to be here, but she was one of my external assessors and has become an amazing friend, and also Dr. Mario Castillo from NC. My hashtag now is what? Giving thanks and giving back. Whatever time I have left, I have to finish the second PhD, and even if I negotiate with Minister of Finance, the man looks at me and smiles and says, we give you 2, you have to finish 2. And I saw that at my old age now, having completed what I will get a good life, look at his face and tell me, is he giving me a life? No. I must complete what I signed for. So we are working on that. But it is been a great pleasure to be able to use our content, to include it in the curriculum, in the activities, and in the teaching. During COVID, we moved to my house. We were teaching online and using all that content. This is one of the babies who has grown under this paper. Looking into the future, I would like for each of you to leave with one understanding. If I am the first one here, I will not be the only one. Remember what Mr. Jones said. Each of you is entitled to a similar opportunity. And if somebody could defend a paper at 91 years of age in Spain, everybody here has a chance. The Louis professors, emeritus, you don't need it because you are at the top. You don't need it. All others are invited because it is an amazing journey. I want to say to this amazing Lord that has placed each of you along the way as an angel, thank you. thank you, and thank you again. On a day like today, in the program, the second page, you have the links where you can find the paper if you wish to read it in Spanish. And I can also share with you that when I presented my dissertation, I achieved the outstanding cum laude, meaning the maximum qualification, as a consequence of all this effort, which I am very proud for, and so my tutors. So I decided to donate one copy to the Real Academy of the Spanish Language in Madrid, it was new, and another one to the Instituto Cervantes, and they were very gracious and accepted the copy. So this one is the third, and there may be other ones. When we celebrate today, the 23rd, April 23rd, the United Nations Spanish Language Day, which is celebrated annually to promote the Spanish language and its diverse cultures. And it also honors the death of Miguel Cervantes, the author of Don Quixote, on his day. It was the birth of the death. It was the birth of the death. Okay. And additionally, it is St. George's Day in Catalonia, Spain, World Day, Book Day, and World Copyright Day. A global celebration of literature. According to internet, almost 600 million persons speak Spanish, and we are going to make that grow. We are going to increase it, and all the North Coast from Ocho Rios to Negril, that in the research is called the El Cinturón de Oro de la Inversión Extranjera, the golden belt of foreign languages. We are going to continue making our contribution for Jamaicans to be multilingual and to be more functional. At this point in time, Señorita Jefa de la Biblioteca, por favor. On behalf of Martha Corbett, on behalf of all the persons here who are part of this journey, I want to donate this material, a good piece of my life, to the university library. I want to make sure that I am possibly the first, but noted as well, and that many of us here are going to do the same. And I want to know that when other colleagues are studying, they will have it easier because it is so well translated into Spanish and well documented. I want to know that all of us together continue to grow. His Excellency, more Spanish, more speakers, more persons capable to serve this country and to serve the world. Because multilingualism is the way to go. Feel free to share with whomever consults it. Feel free to call me if you need to. And I just want to smile and say, others are going to go. Muchísimas gracias for the support, for the love, for all what you did to make this session happen today. She is not of the ones that make noise like me. She's silent. She's quiet. And there's another lady. Where is Kalari? Oh my, her poor telephone needs a new memory. But they were right beside me. And that little lady in the back came sometime. Please stand up. Please stand up. Yes. These persons have even been to my house to just speak and work with me. Led by Mr. Palmer. Mr. Palmer. So you must understand once more that whatever is happening now is a consequence of several persons working and everybody putting love. Yes, we are in a difficult world and things are changing, but there is still a lot of love in people. Thank you very much. And here is your document in a nice bag that I have here that little wrap so you will not have to tear it up. And adiós y a la gloria, aquí se queda una copia de la tesis. Para Wayne, para su excelencia, aunque no quiere que lo llame así, pero usted es su excelencia, y para la princesa, muchas gracias. Wayne, it may be time to start learning some Spanish. All right. Okay. So, colleagues, thank you very much. I think that we can now move into a little more relaxed mood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchas gracias y muchas gracias de nuevo. OAS, Embassy of Spain, Minister of Finance and the Public Service. I'm really hard to talk about the conclusion of the second one, but at least half the journey is now here. Here we have two versions of the printout. One version is the Jamaican one, Mr. Palmer is building for the red and the Jamaican color one. And the middle one is the Spanish one. If you may want to peruse it, these are additional copies. And then here we have some information for you to look at some of the stages of what we have put together. And we're going to have some little food and drinks. Muchísimas gracias. Que Dios los bendiga. Y vamos a pasar ahora un buen rato. You are looking at me, but you cannot understand. We need to start teaching Spanish around here at least. Really? I just said, we are going to celebrate now. I give thanks for what we have here. To God be the glory. And hopefully this experience will be repeated with many others. My team from the Ministry of Education, today we are here at the library, to each of you for being here and assisting to my to each of you. Muchas gracias por haber venido. Muchas gracias to the new generation that looks to Auntie Martha and realizes that Auntie Martha needed help and came from very far bush to be here at this time and assist. To our first employer and to each of you. May the Lord continue to bless you so you can also help others. End of speech, gracias. Spanish. So you get access. Yes. So you get the access. So everybody's going to get one. A ver, que se queda. Makes their difference. That's okay. Dame otra, otro teclado, otro teclado. One minute. Sorry. Okay. Excuse me. One moment. Courtesies for everyone. Because today is International Spanish Day. Dedicated to us, those Spanish people. So everybody should receive one keyboard. Take it with you as a person of today's session. And we also have some picture in the way. Thank you very much. All right. All right, definitely. Yes. Cuando regalito, pues ahora voy. Agua quiera, lo que quiero, agua quiera. Keyboard, where's your keyboard? Okay, raise your hand. Okay, let me get that. Keyboard, el que tiene los tableros. Esta es la esposa de mi cuñada. Andrea, where are the keyboards? She needs one. Marta, ella se tiene felicitar. Okay, felicitar. Mira para acá, mira para acá. Que mire para acá. Para acá. Okay.
This is-